guys, it's Partsful Judgment. I also go by Will, and I am back with another video for my big sketchbook backlog. As a reminder, I am pre-recording all of these because I have them all with me and I want to try and get it all done while the lighting is nice and clear as opposed to, trying to do it. And I'm also going away for about a month, so I won't have my entire haul with me. So, yeah. Also because they're going to storage, and I'd rather them stay in storage as opposed to me having to bring them up and back down because I live in an apartment right now. Yeah. Last time we left off at early 2015, and we are currently in the middle of the 11-page pile of 2015 sketchbooks that I went through, apparently. And yeah. So, these two are my sketchbooks from after April. This one is May 22nd, or after May apparently, and this one is 7/8. That's July 8th to August 25th. I am not very great at numbers, so yeah. So I will start with this one. So this one again is a Canson Universal Sketchbook, 100 pages, and I covered up my personal information there. But yeah, so I started this in May, and this is basically when I came back from the UK from my study abroad. I was still heavily involved in Hunger Games, and I was still doing a lot of stuff with my character Emery. I had some thumbnails here that I wanted to do for a comic with Emery as a standalone story, but it never really took off. I kind of want to come back to it at some point. This is also when I was super into tabletop, so there's a lot of tabletop characters in here, such as Bennett. He was a priest in a Bloodborne campaign, Bloodborne-themed World of Darkness campaign that I was in. There's thumbnails for Hunger Games, headshots of characters, and some character concepts in here that I never really went back to, but I enjoyed drawing them at the time. This was Epicenter Zero. She was a character who I did an OCT with for it was called Once Dead, and she was the rival of a character named Sergeant Delta, and Delta had Earth powers, so because she was his opposite, kind of. This was from the Bad Blood music video, and this was another concept art. I wanted to have her nickname be Earthquake themed, and Epicenter Zero is like the center of an earthquake. So, because Delta had Earth powers, so she would be the center of that, where it doesn't. It's the center of all the chaos and stuff, since she was the one personally battling him. This was some abstract themed stuff for a class I did over the summer, which was a 2D class, and it was an okay 2D class. This is Opal. She belongs to a friend of mine. But it was supposed to be a class on Introduction to Digital Design, and it really did not turn out to be that. It was honestly pretty dull and boring, and it was just not a good class. I could talk about the class itself at some point, but it was just one of the worst art classes that I've taken in a long time. And I've taken a lot of art classes. Another character design of a character that I was wanting to do something with, and I never did. I have a lot of characters that I make designs for, and then I never actually use them. Leia in a swimsuit. Covered up another personal character of mine. Well, I only really have one personal character, but I covered up my personal character. Emery in like a blue gingham bathing suit from like the 1930s or something. Epicenter Zero in a triangle-themed bathing suit that I thought was cute. This is from Dungeons & Dragons again. We kind of adopted, not really adopted, but we hired a goblin and used diplomacy, and we got him on our side, so he's now following us around. His name is Splug. This is more Epicenter Zero stuff. I had issues with fitting the whole body on the page, so feet always tend to be squished. I had a problem with that. More Hunger Games sketches. I did a lot of Hunger Games sketches around this time because it was just something I really enjoyed. And I think I mentioned that before. Selena, who's a character that I don't really do much with, but she still exists, sort of. I think she was a concept for trying to be a simple design. But yeah, I've gotten a lot better also with body proportions recently because I was not very good with body proportions. This is my friend's character Adriel in a fancy looking corset. Leia in another fancy corset. My friend's character Thad. More thumbnails. My friend's character Pamela in a dress that she didn't really like. The character, not my friend. This is Delta practice because I was trying to figure out how to draw him. This is how he ended up. This was from the Bloodborne campaign again. This is an NPC, and our, alchemist inventor character was trying to find another character, and he rolled a critical 1 and got so goddamn lost, he ended up in someone else's mansion somehow. So, it was very confusing for both parties. So this is Algie. He belongs to my brother. And then this is Otieno, and he's a vampire. This is Bennett, who is actually Chinese. Don't quote me on how accurate that Chinese translation is. My family is Chinese, so I think... my family, I don't know if my camera just shut off, but my family's Chinese, so I think I wrote that right, but I might be entirely mistranslating that. There might be a lot of spelling errors in that, so don't actually try and translate it, because I can't actually read that, and I was just kind of attempting to write like they wrote. Like, the sentence should be correct, but I can't guarantee that it is or not, because I asked my family, and the only one who speaks fluent Chinese and actually can spell in it is my grandmother, and she doesn't really do that very often, so I asked my aunt, and I'm not sure if that's correct or not, because my aunt does not entirely speak it either. She can understand it very well and can see the letters, but she doesn't always understand that. I spent a lot of time on that page. Bennett got his, he went to Torpor because he got angry and decided to get into a verbal fight with our tank, who then smacked him, and he went to Torpor because he was a glass cannon, and he went from full health to nothing. Well, it wasn't full health, it was partial health. But he basically died, but he didn't actually die since he's a vampire. More stuff with Leia. I really started developing her this summer because I really enjoyed her as a character, and so I want to work with her more. Wim. Selena again. My friend's character April. My friend's character Jade. My friend's name is April. Her character's name is Jade. Another friend's character named Han. This is more Hunger Games stuff. My friend's character Kali. Emery again. More thumbnails for some typography, logo-based stuff for the class. That was absolutely horrible. Practice for sheer colors. Hunger Games stuff. Hunger Games sketch I didn't finish. This was Rosalie, and this was the first drawing I did of her. And this is what got me as deep into D&D as I am today. And this is Rosalie. She was my cleric. Excuse the noise outside my door. She was my cleric, and she was my first character for the Neolands campaign, which is the campaign that my brother does. And the funny story about Rosalie is that I made her in 3 hours. Not that that's a record, but I was brought into the session because everyone was squishy. We have a bard, and I think at the time we had 2 wizards, and one of them eventually reclassed. And there's a self-portrait for my Meet the Artist for that year. And basically what happened was I was pulled in 3 hours before session start, so I had to make a character very, very quickly. And I made Rosalie in 3 hours, and she became one of my main OCs now. And yeah, I absolutely love her, and Neolands basically, like, is one of my main projects, commitments, games, etc. I absolutely love that campaign. It's like my life. More Emery. Thumbnails for Hunger Games. This is when I started trying to draw in pen more often and do thumbnails in pen so that I would like learn to sketch in pen more often. I was not very good at profiles, but I tried. So yeah, I attempted to draw in pen more often. I had some issues trying to figure out how to do so because sketching in pen feels a lot different than sketching in pencil, just texture-wise. But it ended up being relatively okay. I didn't actually figure it out solidly until the summer afterwards, though. This was another D&D character for a campaign that I have since left because I was too busy. His name is different, and he's a Drider. He's like 10. Not like human 10, but, well, the equivalent of a human 10-year-old. He's not very smart and not very educated. A mushroom design for a mushroom creature thing. My friends drew in the sketchbook because they came to visit, and you know how I like my friends drawing in my sketchbook. So they wanted to try out my colored leads. Me drawing their characters. A sketch of my character Casey and his the original version of him, which was ZZ, and Casey is a standalone character now. Experimenting with color and trying to shade. Oops. I was not very good at color theory back then. I'm still not fantastic at it, but I've gotten better, and I've gotten better with my colors. This was the first sketch of a character from Neolands called Augustus, and I have also gotten better at drawing him. I draw him much better than that now. And then this was a Pokemon from my Heart Gold Soul Silver game, I think. Or maybe it was Pokemon Moon? No, it wasn't Moon. Oras? I'm not positive, but this was a Cyndaquil that I really, really liked, and he ended up in my end party. But I evolved him to a Quilava and gave him an Everstone because I actually don't like Typhlosion. I think its design is kind of weird shaping to me. At least in terms of my aesthetic, I don't particularly like it. Yeah, that was that sketchbook. Then there's this sketchbook. This is another paper blank sketchbook. And you can see the information there. It's another 144 pages, MIDI format, unlined. I actually really like these sketchbooks because they're embossed and they look pretty. And this one has a clasp so I could close it. And this one also has like this design on the sides of the pages that looked really cool. So when it's closed, it looks super, super fancy. And this one was a July to August sketchbook. And it's a small sketchbook, and it was slightly smaller than my standard, as you can see. But I really did enjoy working this. It took a little bit to get used to, but it was really fun. Some pencil sketches of my character Puck. And again, I don't draw on the first page, so there's Puck. There's Carid, my friend's character. I'm going to put this down. Why am I holding it? I don't remember what this was. I think this was an environment test. My character Dean. Some notes that I don't understand anymore because I wrote them in code for some reason. It made sense at the time, and I only had to understand it for a little bit. So it made sense at the time. There's Seti. There is Kaylin. my friend's character, covered up a website that's not important. A Percy Jackson OC that I made that I never used. Sketch page that I never finished. Some life drawings of my friend posing. I really like this because this is when I started really experimenting with my Copics and trying to push what I could do with it. So this is like me trying to do more watercolory mixed look to it. Character named Magnus. He is the father of my character Silas. There's Vale as a fairy king. Puck again. Some stuff for Pharos. That's a character named Finn, and that's Leia. I tossed Leia into Pharos so I could develop her more and make her be more than just her brother's twin sister. So, yeah, I tossed her in there, and it helped develop her a lot. This is another picture of Leia that I did that it took me like a year to actually color this digitally. Another picture of Leia. I think this is supposed to be Silas's uncle. Again, Silas's uncle. More Leia. More Leia. This is Silas, though this Silas is in a skirt because I was using Silas for a group called Constance, and that has multiple worlds in it. So in one of the worlds, Silas is in a skirt because Silas in that world could not use his legs and didn't have prosthetics. So a skirt was easier to get on than pants. This is my character Bernard. He's a ghost, like a spirit that possesses people. Not that I want to specify. He is specifically a spirit that possesses people, not just a ghost. And clarifying that a ghost is a spirit that possesses people. He is a flaming effigy. So like those puppets that you burn of politicians and stuff. And he used to be a politician, and he died in a fire. So he became an effigy of himself. There's some line art of Leia again. Some more studies of different stuff from Pharos. I believe that was another character they never used. Leia again. These are the Cain parents. This is Claudius and Triton. Claudius's design didn't change, but Triton's did eventually because I didn't really like that one. But they are Leia and Vale's parents. Rosalie got some new armor at one point, so I drew her in that. I don't remember what this was. For this, this was when the group of friends met up in August to do a in-person game of Neolands. So we met up and they had gel pens, so I drew a lot with gel pens, and I kind of just I just used them because they were there and I like glittery gel pens. So yeah, this was from that day when we did the live session. Another picture of Leia. And this is when I started playing around with backgrounds and just blocking stuff in because I didn't like having my characters in flat backgrounds, so I wanted to put them on patterns. And maybe it wasn't the best idea to just keep blocking things in like that, but it was something that I really enjoyed. This is a map from the live session. A character's face that I didn't finish. Leia in a summer outfit. This was my old 3-marker challenge. I don't remember off the top of my head which markers I used, but I know that it was in my description on DeviantArt. But I liked this picture a lot. I think this was actually one of my cousins, on the married inside, and I drew her and then I colored it. This is my friend's character Zeke. At least I think it's Zeke. Another character of mine who is now dead, but he was for tabletop. His name was Cameron, and he was a death priest. He was a worshiper of Vecna. More stuff from Pharos. More stuff from Pharos. Sketch I never finished. This is my friend's character Sorrel, and I really liked doing patterns, and I figured that I would draw sorrel in something super fancy and try some blending techniques. So I was really proud of this at the time. This is Milo. He's a character of mine who was for a Percy Jackson themed thing. I don't think I ever really used him, but I still like him as a character. He's the son of Hephaestus. Pharaoh stuff. This is when I was trying to draw with outline with brush pen, so I was sort of getting used to it. My friend TK's character Ryan, that's Zeke again. Another character from Constance, that person left quickly afterwards. There was actually a running joke for the first like 3 months I was at Constance that if I drew someone who wasn't really active, they would leave the next activity session. I hope my camera was still filming. Then there is Scylla, who also left soon after that. Vinum. This was me testing out different color patterns again for like flowers. Practicing blending with Vale's hair. This was from this campaign that was called Springfield, and that's where Bernard came from. And Vale blatantly lied about how he was happy to be there, but he rolled high enough on a deception score. Silas with a stylized thing again where he glitched out. A brush pen doodle of my friend's character Jaina. Brush pen doodle of a character Mary from Constance. Character from Pharos. Leia again. This is when I was just really testing out stuff with my brush pen and learning how to draw with it. My character Tara, and I was just trying to do some more blending stuff. And Leia, and this is a piece that I was really happy with because everyone thought I did it with watercolor, and I was just playing around with my Copics trying to figure out how to use them properly. And yeah, that is less than that one. Yeah, it's still more experimentation from 2015, and basically 2015 was just a year that I just played around a lot, and that's why I have so many sketchbooks. But yeah, so these 2 sketchbooks I think were the ones that I just did. Yeah. So yeah, this is a paper blank, and that's a Canson, and I actually really recommend this. It's not necessarily because it's the best paper in the world, but it made me feel good to finish this because I did a lot of finished looking pieces in here. Maybe they were just like kind of sketchy or sloppy, but it got me to do nice stuff, and you don't have to do nice stuff in a sketchbook, and I can actually talk about different types of sketchbooks later, but it made me happy to fill this with clean looking stuff. Not entirely, but somewhat. But yeah, as per usual, if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to talk about, you can leave them down in the comments or message me on my social media, which is in the description below. And as usual, I will link anyone who I mentioned down in the description as well. And as usual, thank you all so much for your support. Bye!